Good morning, dear friends. Myself CS Ahir, MEG College, Malegaon Camp, Malegaon, Nasik. So last lecture we start this second chapter, chemical equilibrium. For this chemical equilibrium, we need this concept of change in Gibbs free energy or simply free energy of reaction. So what is this? We studied in last lecture. This value is negative for spontaneous process. Again we complete this Gibbs free energy change in chemical reaction. So we consider the general reaction. We apply this equation to calculate Gibbs free energy change for reaction. Same we consider at molar concentration, standard molar concentration. Same equation we consider when these quantities of reactant and product are fixed. So this equation become like this. And finally we arrive this equation. And this equation now we use for solving the problem. So last topic of last lecture is exergonic and endergonic reaction. So this negative delta G, that is standard Gibbs free energy change is negative, it is a exergonic reaction. We have this example. When this standard Gibbs free energy change is positive, it is called as endergonic reactions. We have these reactions. So this much part we completed in last lecture. Today we solve problem based on this equation. So first problem, calculate the standard Gibbs free energy of formation of HI gas at 25 degrees centigrade from its standard molar entropy and standard enthalpy of formation. So these two values, that is standard molar enthalpy of formation and standard molar entropy of formations, are given. Again this T, temperature, is also given, but it is in degree centigrade. We have to convert into Kelvin by adding 273. So this 25 degrees centigrade is converted to 298 Kelvin. So it is a very simple problem. So what is this formation of HI? This HI is formed from hydrogen and iodine gas. So we required half mole of H2 gas, half mole of iodine solid to form HI gas. So this problem is very straightforward. We directly take this equation. Gibbs free energy change, standard Gibbs free energy change of formation is equal to standard enthalpy change of formation minus T, temperature, into standard entropy change of formation. So these two values, delta is 0, put here, delta is 0, temperature is 25, we converted into 298 Kelvin. This delta is 0, value for HI gas is also given, directly put this value here. So very straightforward problem. So multiply this and subtract from this value. The final answer is 1.69 kilojoule per mole. See dear student, for problem solving, calculator is allowed in exam also. So for A group student there is no fear about the problems calculation, but B group student must require practice to solving this problem. So this is a very simple problem. Next, calculate the standard Gibbs free energy change for the formation of reaction from given data. This data is provided in tabular form. So in last lecture, in theory, we see this tabular data is used to calculate this Gibbs free energy change. But here in tabular form, what is given? Standard enthalpy of formation, entropy of formation of component is given, that is reactant SO2, product SO3, second reactant O2. These component values are given. It is not the reaction value. Our formula is this: we calculate entropy change of reaction, Gibbs free energy change for the following reaction. For that calculation, what we needed? We needed a standard enthalpy change of reaction and standard entropy change for reaction. So these two value must be calculated. So in solution, first to calculate delta H0 and delta S0 for the reaction. Reaction is same. These 2 mole of sulfur dioxide oxidize combine with oxygen to form 2 moles of sulfur trioxide SO3. So this reaction is reversible reaction. So first we calculate delta H0. Formula is summation of number of moles of product into entropy change of product. So here is only one product SO3 present in 2 moles minus summation. So there is no need of summation. In second, minus summation of number of moles of reactant into change in enthalpy of formation of reactant. So here are 2 reactant. Sulfur dioxide is one reactant, oxygen is the second reactant. So we require this summation. So we directly put these values. So product is one product. Sulfur trioxide, it is present in 2 mole. So 2 into enthalpy change, standard enthalpy change of sulfur trioxide. So we use second column. Sulfur trioxide is substance. Its standard enthalpy change is given is minus 396. We put this value minus 396 kilojoule per mole. Minus summation. In summation of reactant there are 2 reactant. First reactant is sulfur dioxide present in 2 moles. So 2 into its value. Sulfur dioxide value is minus 297. We put value 297 plus the summation is required. 2 reactants are there. 1 mole of oxygen. So there is no need to write 1, but for your understanding we write this 1 into bracket in standard H0 delta H0 of oxygen is 0. Why it is 0? So standard enthalpy of formation of any element in its stable state is 0. So we study this in theoretical part. So this delta H0 for oxygen gas is 0. So this term becomes 0. So there is only one term, one multiplication for reactant side. So multiply this factor 2, again multiply by 2. This become positive. Differentiate this value negative, this value positive. Subtract this, we get the final answer minus 198 kilojoule. So this calculation we carried out on calculator. So there is no need to explain this calculation. You simply practice the calculation, we can understand it. The second term, that is delta S0 for this reaction. So same formula, instead of enthalpy we put this value as entropy, and for these values we require this third column, entropy values of this component or substance and reactant. So again there is one product present in 2 moles, 2 into its entropy sulfur trioxide. See, this is the sulfur trioxide product, its value is 257. Put this value 257 minus summation of, there are 2 reactant. First reactant is sulfur dioxide 2 moles, so 2 into its value is 248. Put this value 248 plus 1 mole of second reactant O2, 1 mole, its value of O2 value, that is 205. Put this value 205, multiply, open this bracket, subtract the values, and we get the final answer as delta S0 is minus 187 joule per Kelvin. See, this is very important. This unit of values is joule per Kelvin, and this delta S0 is kilojoule. So this joule value we converted into kilojoule. So divided this value by 1000, we get minus 0.187 kilojoule per Kelvin. So now we have these 2 values. So this problem become similar to the problem number 1. We have this delta S0 value, delta S0 value. We have this formula, put this delta S0. T, temperature is also given 25 degrees centigrade converted into 298 Kelvin, and delta S0 we use this value in kilojoule. See, that is very important. This value is in kilojoule. We put this kilojoule value, reopen the bracket, by using calculus solve this example, and we have the final answer, that is the standard Gibbs free energy change for this reaction is minus 142 kilojoule. So this is the correct answer. So similar problem you have to solve and write in your chemistry notebook. See, now our chapter is chemical equilibrium. Now we start this theoretical part, chemical equilibrium. See, it is observed that most of the reaction proceed to completion at specific condition of temperature and pressure. For such reaction, it can be assumed that this reactant and reactants are quantitatively converted to product, and that the amount of limiting reactant that remain negligible. So meaning of this statement is these reactants are consumed to form product, and this reactant concentration or reactant amount is negligible. That is, we say near about 100% conversion of reactant into product. But there are many chemical reactions that stop much before completion. So in this case, this amount of reactant is negligible, but in second case, this amount of reactant is considerable. So it is stopped before the completion. See this example, then you understand this statement. Example is dimerization of nitrogen dioxide. See, this nitrogen dioxide, dimerization, so we take these two molecules of nitrogen dioxide in gaseous state. If it is dimerized, combined in reversible reaction to form N2O4, it is again in gaseous state. But difference is this reactant nitrogen dioxides are brown, dark brown gas. Its color is dark brown, and this product side N2O4 is a colorless gas. If there is a 100% conversion or there is a negligible amount of reactant, at that time what we see after completion of reaction, we see the colorless gas only. But this is not the case. This reactant NO2, nitrogen dioxide, is dark brown gas, and product N2O4 is a colorless gas. When this NO2 is placed, this nitrogen dioxide is placed in evacuated glass vessel. So it is a glass vessel. We directly see the reaction through this glass, and we see the color of that glass vessel. So it is found that initially dark brown color of this reactant decreases and its intensity. So this intensity of dark brown color is decreases and it become faint as it is converted to colorless N2O4. So what is the meaning of this statement? So in this glass vessel, what we observe, reaction is carried out, but this reaction do not goes to colorless state. It is stopped before the colorless state, and thus we call it as a equilibrium state. It is not a 100% conversion. It is stopped before the 100% conversion. So this is the equilibrium state. So in equilibrium state, both reactants is also considerable in second statement. It is not negligible like that first statement. It is negligible, but in second statement what we say, this amount of reactant is considerable, and thus we observe this decrease in intensity of color due to mixing of this colorless gas. There is no colorless product, but it is a mixture of reactant and product, and thus this intensity is decreases for this reaction. See the second example by graphical representation. It is more clear. The rate of forward is in this case, this rate of forward reaction become equal to the rate of backward reaction. Whatever may be the amount is converted into product at equilibrium, that concentration remains same. That concentration remains same. This reactant concentration and product concentration remain same at equilibrium state. What is equilibrium state? Suppose this forward reaction is goes on in this direction, amount of product increases, but this increased value of colorless gas or product is reverse direction to form a reactant. So both reactant and products are in balance equilibrium state, and thus this forward and backward reactions are equal, and hence chemical equilibrium is not a static but it is dynamic. This conversion is takes place, but due to this balancing of this conversion, this equilibrium state is reached, but reaction is dynamic. There is a conversion of product into reactant, but similar time at the same time this product is converted into reactant, so it is a dynamic reaction. See this graphical representation for the second example. So this reaction is water in vapor state combined with carbon monoxide gas, reversible state, is converted into hydrogen gas and carbon dioxide gas. So this is our reaction in equilibrium state. This is the second statement, that is equilibrium state. So consider the reaction between steam that is water vapors, and carbon monoxide in a closed vessel at high temperature. So what happens here? So this figure is this change in concentration with time for the reaction. So vertical direction we have this concentration of reactant and product, horizontal direction we have this time of reaction. So initially there is only reactants are present, so their concentration is higher, water and carbon monoxide, and this reactant, as the reaction proceed, reactant concentration goes on decreasing. This concentration values goes on decreasing as time proceed. When reactant concentration decreases, these reactants are converted into product, and at the same time when this decreases, this product concentration, initially it is 0, this product concentration now start to begin. As much as reactants are consumed, that much amount of product start to form, and this reaction goes in this direction. So this dotted line represent, when this time passes, there is a dotted line. What is this dotted line? That line represent the equilibrium state. So what is chemical equilibrium for this reaction? This dotted line, this much time required to attain the equilibrium state of this reaction. Just now we say, so what we see this horizontal line represent this reactant concentration remains same. After this time, for infinite time, this concentration remains same. At the same time, this product concentration goes on increasing, and after that dotted line, again this product concentration is again horizontal. This concentration remain same at equilibrium state. This parallel line shows concentration of reactant and concentration of product remains same. Just now I said it is a dynamic reaction. What is the dynamic? If this reactant concentration, see, when this product concentration increases, at the same time this product is converted into reactant, and thus there is a balance between this reactant side and product side. This forward reaction and backward reaction is same. Suppose excess amount of reactant is converted into product, but at the same time this excess product is converted back into the reactant, and this horizontal line remain present in reaction. That is, the concentration of reactant and products are same. Though reactant is converted into product, this reaction is forward and backward direction, forward and reverse direction, and thus their concentration in reaction is same or do not change. So this graphical representation clear-cut idea for stopping of reaction before completion. So there is a presence of concentration of reactant also and product also. Again, this dynamic state shows this reaction is proceed, but it is in equal rate in backward and forward direction. So it is proceed, so it is dynamic, but due to this equal rates, this concentration remains same and in attain equilibrium. So that is the chemical equilibrium. For this situation, what is required? When these quantities of reactant, that is water vapor or steam, and carbon monoxide, these reactants are present in equimolar amount, equimolar quantities are mixed, their concentration remain same. So this is about chemical equilibrium. So next point, in this chemical equilibrium we apply this law of mass action. So what is this law of mass action? So it is a law. apply for the masses. See, this law state that at constant temperature, this rate of any chemical reaction, this rate of chemical reaction is proportional to the product, that is multiplication of molar concentration of the reacting substance. So it is a multiplication of molar concentration of reacting substances, with each concentration rise to a power equal to the number of molecule of respective reactant, that is number of moles of reactant that occur in the chemical equation. So this statement is very simple. See this, consider this reaction, chemical equation. A reactant present in A mole plus B reactant present in B mole to form product. So in this law of mass action, we don't bother about product we have. We consider only the reacting substances. So in forward reaction, so these two are the reactant, A and B are the reactant. This molar concentration of A is A, molar concentration B is B, write in B, and this concentration A moles rise to their power. Concentration B, this B is a B number of moles, and this B is rise to the concentration of B. So according to this law of mass action, according to definition, see what is this? This rate of reaction is proportional. So this is the rate, it is proportional to the concentration, molar concentration. So concentration of A is square bracket A, that is concentration of A. Second is B reactant, concentration of B, with each concentration rise to a power equal to the number of molecules, that is the number of moles. So this A concentration having A moles, so this concentration rise to small a. This B reactant present in B concentration, its number of moles is small b, so rise to this small b. When we remove this proportionality sign, we add this constant K. This rate is equal to K, concentration of A rise to small a mole, concentration of B rise to B moles, where this K is called as a proportionality constant or constant of proportionality, and it is called as a rate constant of this reaction. So this K is a rate constant for this reaction. So when we consider forward reaction, at that time this is the reacting substance. But when we consider backward or reverse reaction, at that time this product become the reacting substance. See next topic. So this is about law of mass action. This is the final equation of law of mass action, where K is a rate constant for that reaction. Second term in this chemical equilibrium is law of chemical equilibrium. At a given temperature, the product of concentration of the reaction product, at a given temperature, the product of concentration of reactant product rise to the respective stoichiometric coefficient, divide by the product, that is multiplication, of the concentration of the reactant rise to the respective stoichiometric coefficient in the balanced chemical reaction at equilibrium is called, equilibrium is constant, reactant at equilibrium is constant and is called a equilibrium constant of that reaction. See, so in this law of chemical equilibrium, this is the ratio. It is a ratio, and that ratio is constant, and that constant is called as a equilibrium constant. So this theoretical definition in reaction form. So derive the law of chemical equilibrium by using this definition. So we consider this reaction: A mole of A reactant plus B mole of B reactant react to form at equilibrium, react to form C mole of C product and D mole of D product. According to this law of mass action, for this forward reaction, see this is the law of mass action, previous one. What is the law of mass action? This rate of reaction of forward reaction. So this is the forward reaction where A and B are reacting substances, where KF is a forward reaction. This KF is a rate constant of forward reaction, is A raised to A mole and B, concentration of B rise to B mole. But when we consider this rate of backward reaction, reverse reaction, backward reaction, for this reverse reaction we use symbol R, where C and D are the reacting substances. C and D are the reacting substances for the reverse or backward reaction. And thus, according to the law of mass action, previous one, this rate of backward reaction, reverse reaction, we use this Kr. R is reverse reaction. This is the rate constant for this reaction, reverse reaction. This concentration of C rise to C mole, concentration of D rise to D mole. So this is according to law of mass action, where Kf and Kr are the respective rate constant. At equilibrium, what happens? See, at equilibrium, rate of both reactions, forward reaction and backward reaction, both rates are same. So these both rates are equal or same or constant at equilibrium condition. So at equilibrium, this rate are same. So we equal these two sides. This first for forward reaction, this second is for reverse or backward reaction, both are equalized. We recollect this constant term in one side. See, Kf, this Kr shifting in this direction, it is multiplying. Even if it shifting in this direction, it become dividing. This reactant concentration rise to their molar concentration is shifted in right side. It is multiplying. When it goes in right side, it is in denominator, dividing. And this ratio, see this ratio, rate of forward reaction upon rate of reverse or backward reaction is constant, and this constant is, we call it as a new constant Kc. What is this capital Kc? This capital Kc is the equilibrium constant. So it is the equilibrium constant, which is again in constant. That is called as the equilibrium constant for this reaction and represented by the law of chemical equilibrium. And this Kc represent the law of chemical equilibrium. What is the formula? This law of chemical equilibrium for this reversible reaction is equal to rate of forward reaction upon rate of reverse or backward reaction is equal to multiplication of concentration of C and D rise to their molar concentration divided by multiplication of concentration of A and B rise to their molar quantities. So this C and D are product and A and B are the reactant in whole reaction. So this is the law of chemical equilibrium, and this Kc represent this equilibrium constant. So I think you understand this equilibrium constant, law of chemical equilibrium. This law of chemical equilibrium we solve by using the law of mass action, that is the previous one, and we arrive at this equation, and by according to this definition, this stoichiometric coefficient means molar quantity. Stoichiometric coefficient is this stoichiometric coefficient A, this small b, small c, small d, that is the molar quantity in balanced chemical reaction. So this is equilibrium reaction. This equilibrium constant, that is Kc, is called as a chemical equilibrium for this reaction. The continuation with that same topic, this thermodynamical definition of equilibrium constant involves activity rather than concentration. So just now we defined this law of mass action, law of chemical equilibrium. In that case we use concentration of reactant and product. But in thermodynamical definition, this equilibrium constants are considered in activity rather than concentration. So what is this activity? This activity of component, it may be reactant or product. We call it as activity of any component, any reactant or any product of an ideal mixture is the ratio, that is the ratio of concentration. If it is solution, liquid, we consider it as a concentration. If it is in gaseous form, then we consider its partial pressure. So this activity of any component, it may be gas, liquid, solution, what it may be. This activity of any component in ideal mixture is the ratio of concentration or partial pressure to the standard concentration or standard pressure. Standard concentration is 1 molar concentration, 1 moles per liter. Standard pressure is 1 bar or 1 Pascal, that is 0.9869 atmosphere. So what is activity? So activity is A. Suppose we called this activity as A, then it is the ratio of concentration, actual concentration divided by 1 molar concentration. If this component is gaseous, at that time this gaseous component, its partial pressure divided by standard pressure. So it is the ratio of that particular component. See, we consider activity of each species, each component or each species to be a dimensionless quantity whose numerical value can be determined as follows. How we calculate this activity? So we consider these factors, points. Why it is dimensionless? So it is the ratio of concentration to the standard concentration. Units are same. Ratio of, if it is gaseous component, then it is the ratio of partial pressure to the standard pressure. So pressure unit cancel, or if it is liquid or solution, concentration units are cancelled and it become a dimensionless quantity. How this activity is calculated? First point, for any pure solid or liquid, this activity is taken as 1. This activity is unit 1 for any pure solid or liquid. Second, for component of ideal solution, where we consider as a concentration, this activity of each component is taken to be the ratio of molar concentration of that solution to the standard concentration, that is 1 molar concentration or 1 moles per liter. So the unit is cancelled. See, suppose we call it activities as small a is equal to, see, suppose this component ideal solution is X, concentration of ideal solution is square bracket X divided by C0, where X is the concentration in moles per liter, C0 is a standard concentration which is 1 molar or 1 moles per liter. So both units are same, units are cancelled, and this activity A is a dimensionless quantity. If this component is gaseous state, see the third point, for gaseous in ideal mixture, the activity of each component is taken to be the ratio of partial pressure to the standard pressure, which is 1 bar, and this units are cancelled, and thus it is unitless quantity or dimensionless quantity. See, now this activity A is equal to Px upon P0, where Px is the partial pressure, actual pressure of that gas in mixture, to P0. What is P0? P0 is a standard pressure which is 1 bar or 1 Pascal. So these are the 3 important points. By using these 3 important points, we calculate this activity of any component, which is pure liquids, solid, or it may be a ideal solution, or it may be a gaseous form in ideal solution, ideal mixture. Because of the use of activity, this equilibrium constant has no unit. When we use this activity term, at that time it is a dimensionless or unitless, that is no units. These values we put into Kc are numerically equal to the molar concentration. If you use second point, we have the solution concentration term. At that time, this A we called it as a Kc. This activity is called as a capital Kc, C for concentration. So this activity is Kc, and it is dimensionless. But when we use this component as a gaseous form, gaseous mixture is there according to point 3, then this activity A is called as a Kp. P is a, where small p is a pressure. This Kp represent the activity of component in gaseous mixture. So Kc is activity in concentration term, Kp is activity in pressure term. So here we complete this chemical equilibrium, And this chemical equilibrium in thermodynamical definition, we again consider this activity of that particular component. How you calculate activities? By using these 3 points. Kc is activity in concentration term. According to third point, Kp is activity in pressure term. The last point of today's lecture is types of equilibria. So there are two types of equilibria: homogeneous equilibria and heterogeneous equilibria. The name suggests homo means same, hetero means different. This equilibrium reaction in which all the reactant and products are in same phase, homo, same phase. If this reactant and product are in hetero, that is different phase, it is a heterogeneous equilibrium. If it is in same phase, it is a homogeneous equilibrium. See the example of homogeneous equilibria: hydrolysis of ester. This methyl acetate ester, liquid form, hydrolyzed by using water, again in liquid form, converted into the acetic acid in liquid form, and methanol in liquid form. All the two reactant and two product, 4 component are present in one phase, that is in liquid phase. So it is an example of homogeneous equilibrium. For the heterogeneous equilibria, see this example: decomposition of sodium bicarbonate. So this is the sodium bicarbonate, NaCO3. When it is decomposed, it gives sodium carbonate plus carbon dioxide plus water. So when we consider this sodium bicarbonate, it is present in solid form. It undergo decomposition. At that time, it converted into sodium carbonate. Again, it is in solid form. But at the same time, during this decomposition, there is a evolution of carbon dioxide gas and water vapor. So in this whole reaction, 2 components are present in solid state, 2 components are present in gaseous state. So this reaction is an example of different phases. So it is an example of heterogeneous equilibrium. So dear student, this much part we consider for our today's lecture. You see this video repeatedly, so you get the understanding of each and every concept. Write the main point in your notebooks. Thank you.